Okay, let us move on to the next part of the lesson. And very important part. We are going to study about the laws called to be Kirchhoff's laws. Kirchhoff's rule or Kirchhoff's laws. See, what is the purpose for studying these laws? See, already we have studied about a law called to be Ohm's law. See, when I am considering this Ohm's law gives a relation or it relates the voltage or the potential difference and the current that is available in an electric circuit. But the problem is Ohm's law can be applied only to simple electrical circuits. So Ohm's law can be applied only to simple electrical circuits to determine the voltage and the current that is available in that circuit. If you are considering some of the complex electrical circuits, complex or complicated electrical circuits. In complex or complicated electrical circuits, in order to determine the voltage and current in the circuit, in order to determine voltage and current in the circuit, Ohm's law is not applicable, or Ohm's law cannot be applied. So in order to overcome this difficulty, in order to determine the voltage and the current in an complicated electrical circuit, or in order to get a relationship between voltage and current in an complicated electrical circuits, we are going to study about the laws called to be Kirchhoff's laws or Kirchhoff's rule. When you are considering this Kirchhoff's law or Kirchhoff's laws, there are two generalized laws available. Two generalized laws are available under Kirchhoff's law in order to determine the voltage and the current in that complicated electrical circuits. The two generalized laws are considered as one as Kirchhoff's current law, one considered to be Kirchhoff's current law, and the second one, it is considered to be Kirchhoff's voltage law, Kirchhoff's current law, and a second one, we are calling it out as Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. What is meant by this Kirchhoff's current law? So first of all, I am considering the Kirchhoff's current law. First of all, I can state that the Kirchhoff's current law is based on law of conservation of electrical charges. It is based on the law of conservation of electrical charges. In the previous lesson itself, we have studied about the law of conservation of electrical charges, according to which charges can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one material to another material in an equal amount. Or we have studied like this: the total charge available in an isolated system is a constant. So based on the law of conservation of electrical charges, the Kirchhoff's current law is available. Kirchhoff's current law is said to be available. Okay. See, this Kirchhoff's current law could be applied, or the Kirchhoff's current law can be applied only at junctions, only at junction available in an electrical circuit. Junction means a meeting point where more resistances or more currents are meeting. So this Kirchhoff's first law can be applied only at junctions. So what is the law? How the law is stated? See, the law is stated like this: the algebraic sum of Plus are the add panikano, minus are the subtract panikano. That is algebraic sum. The algebraic sum of the currents meeting at a junction is always equal to 0. So the first current, Kirchhoff's current law or Kirchhoff's first law states that. So first law states that, what is that law? The algebraic sum of, the algebraic sum of the currents, algebraic sum of the currents meeting at a junction, is equal to, what is it is equal to? Is equal to 0. So how I can write this mathematically? Algebraic sum. So I am writing like this: sigma of current I is equal to 0. So algebraic sum of the current meeting at a junction is always equal to 0. How I can able to explain this? See, I am considering an example. Let us consider a junction O. See, in this junction, I am having some conductors meeting at this junction point O. See, in this conductors, I am considering the conductors as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. See, in this conductors, there is a flow of electrical current. So in junction 1 or in conductor 1, a current of I1 ampere is flowing. In conductor 2, a current of I2 is flowing. In conductor 3, a current of I3 is flowing. In conductor 4, a current of I4 is flowing. And in conductor 5, a current of I5 is flowing. See, it was considered algebraic sum of the current meeting at this junction is equal to 0. See, if you are considering the algebraic sum of the currents, you consider the current I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5 in these conductors. In some of the conductors, current is flowing towards the junction. In some of the conductors, the current is found to be flowing away from the junction. So I have to apply a sign convention. What do you mean by that sign convention? I am going to put either plus or minus. If the current is flowing towards the junction, I am considering that current as positive. If the current is flowing away from the junction, then I am considering the current as negative. So I am introducing a sign based on a convention, whether the current is flowing towards or away. அது நம்ம இஷ்டம், எப்படி போடணும்னாலும் போட்டுக்கோங்க. If you want to consider the current flowing away as positive and towards as negative, we can consider, no problem. But that should be maintained till completing that problem. So what it is universally followed is what I have told you. That is, the current flowing towards the junction is taken as positive and the current flowing away from the junction is taken as negative. So I am introducing that sign conventions. Two sign conventions are applied for the first law. One is current flowing towards the junction. Currents flowing towards the junction is taken as what? Is taken as positive. So when I am considering current flowing away, so when I am considering currents flowing away from the junction, then it is considered to be, the sign convention is considered to be negative. If I am applying these two sign conventions to this example, I can write, say I1 is flowing towards, so it is plus I1. I2 is flowing away, so minus I2. I3 is flowing away, minus I3. I4 is flowing towards, then plus I4. I5 is flowing towards, then it is plus I5. Now what it is given? algebraic sum is equal to 0. That's what I have told. If it is positive, add it out. If it is negative, subtract it. So according to the law, how I can write this? Sum of the algebraic sum. Then I1 minus I2 minus I3 plus I4 plus I5 equal to 0. This is generally written as sigma of current I equal to 0. Or in some other way, I can write this also. How? You see, instead of writing like this, I can write like this: I1 plus I4 plus I5 is equal to, taking these two to the other side, I can write like this: I2 plus I3. So Kirchhoff's first law can be simplified, or Kirchhoff's first law can be stated in another way. This I1, I4, I5 are considered to be algebraic sum of the currents that is flowing towards the junction is equal to, what is I2 and I3? They are sum of the currents flowing away from the junction. So I can write I1 plus I4 plus I5 as sum of the currents flowing towards the junction, equal to, what is I2 plus I3? It is nothing but sum of the currents flowing away from the junction, So based on this, Kirchhoff's first law can be stated in another way as, say, a liter, another form of definition. That is the algebraic sum of, or the sum of currents flowing towards the junction, is equal to the sum of the currents flowing away from the junction, So this we are taking it out as the Kirchhoff's first law. Hope you should have understood what I have told here. So a circuit is given. In that circuit, some of the currents are given in that circuit, mentioned in that circuit, and some of the current are flowing towards the junction and some of the current are flowing away from the junction. From this circuit, you are asked to calculate what is the value of current I in this conductor or in this resistor. Example problem 2.20, page number 105. Let us solve it out. See, we know according to Kirchhoff's first law, the algebraic sum of the currents meeting at this junction B is equal to 0. So you just consider 0.2 ampere current is flowing towards. So I am writing 0.2 plus. Then what is, sorry, the next one is 0.4 ampere is flowing away. Algebraic sum. So plus I have given plus. Since 0.4 ampere is going away, I am putting it as minus 0.4. Then plus. In the third one, 0.6 ampere is flowing towards. So 0.6 plus. Then 0.5 ampere is flowing away. So in the bracket, I am putting minus of 0.5. Then 0.7 ampere is flowing towards. So plus 0.7 plus I is flowing away. So minus I is equal to 0. Am I correct? According to the Kirchhoff's first law, algebraic sum of the currents meeting at this junction point, junction P is equal to 0. So if the current is flowing towards, I have taken it as positive. If the current is flowing away, I have taken it as negative. So in 1, 2, and 3, in 3 cases, minus I, 0.4 and 0.5 are flowing away. So in that, I have substituted as minus 5. Now you simplify. You see 0.2 minus 0.4 plus 0.6 minus 0.5 plus 0.7 minus I equal to 0. So I am adding all the positive quantities and I am adding all the negative quantities and then I am subtracting. You see 0.2, 0.6, so 0.8. Then here I am getting it as 0.7. So 0.8, 0.6, then 0.7, it is 1.5 minus, see 0.6 and 0.4, isn't it? 0.6 and 0.4. What else you are having? What else you are having is minus 1, minus I, isn't it? So when you are adding the minus quantities, minus of 0.4, minus of 0.5, it is minus of 0.9. Then minus I is equal to 0. So on subtracting 1.5 minus 0.9, you will be getting 0.6 minus I equal to 0. Take I to the other side. You can able to get current I is equal to 0.6 ampere. So this is what we are considering it as the value of the current that is available in that resistor or in that conductor. So the second one is Kirchhoff's second law. This Kirchhoff's second law, otherwise called to be Kirchhoff's voltage law or voltage rule, KVR nu சொல்லுவாங்க, KVR, Kirchhoff's voltage rule. When you are considering the Kirchhoff's second law or the voltage law, this law is based on law of conservation of energy. So the second law is based on law of conservation of energy. What is that law of conservation of energy? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another form. Last Kirchhoff's first law, it was based on law of conservation of charges. Then the Kirchhoff's first law can be applied only to junction, but Kirchhoff's second law can be applied only to closed path of an electrical circuit. Can be applied to closed circuits, closed electrical circuits or closed path of electrical circuits. In an closed open circuit, what we have studied already is an open circuit. You are having a junction. From that junction, we are able to get the current is flowing out or current is flowing in. What are the other circuit that was being connected to that? We don't know. But in this case of second law, we have to consider a closed circuit. Only in the closed circuit, we can able to apply the second law. While studying with the examples, you can able to understand. Okay, initially just to know that is, it can be applied only to the closed path or closed electrical circuit. What is the law that was being stated? See, we have to apply the law in the closed circuit. So you have to consider a closed circuit in which the algebraic sum of, we have to take sum, algebraic sum of the product of, multiply பண்ணனும், the product of current and resistance in that path is equal to total EMF in the circuit. I will write the law and then I will explain. See, the algebraic sum of, how to memorize it. First of all, sum. See, the algebraic sum of. For what we have to take the algebraic sum? The algebraic sum of the product of, we have to take the product of current and resistance, where the product of current and resistance should be taken in a closed path. So the algebraic sum of the product of current and resistance in a closed electrical circuit, in a closed electrical circuit is equal to the sum of or the total EMF in that circuit, total EMF in that circuit. This is what we are taking or considering it as the second law. What is that law? The algebraic sum of the product of current and resistance taken in an closed circuit is equal to the total EMF in that electrical circuit. But in order to apply this law, Here also I have to go for sign convention. As that we have considered in the first law, here also I have to consider the sign convention. See, if I am taking a closed circuit, the current may flow in a clockwise direction or current may flow in an anti-clockwise direction. Or I can take like this. The direction of the flow of current and the direction of the path I am considering, if both are same, then the sign convention is positive. What do you mean by that? For example, I am taking a circuit. See, this end is taken to be A and this end I am taking it as B. In between, I am having a resistance. So current is flowing in this direction. The current is taken to be I. This resistance I am taken to be R. The path of the circuit is from A to B. I am considering the path of the circuit as A to B. Say you look at the diagram. In this diagram, what is the direction of current? Direction of current is also from A to B. So I am writing the rule. What is that rule? If the direction of the path and the direction of current in the closed circuit, are same, since both are in same direction, are same, then the sign convention to be applied, then the sign convention is, we have to take it out, is positive. The value is taken to be positive. Are you able to understand? Then what is the second one? So I am considering the second convention. I am taking the same diagram. So one end is A, another end is B. In between, a resistance R is connected. Now a current of I ampere is flowing from B to A. Or I can take like this also. I can consider like this. Always the current is flowing from A to B. But if I am considering the path of the circuit, I am taking the path of the circuit as B to A. And what is the direction of current? Direction of current is considered to be A to B. See, in this case, what happens? The path along which the circuit is moving and the direction of current which is moving are in opposite side direction. The path considered and the direction of current, if they are in opposite side direction, then the sign convention is taken to be negative. So what is the second rule or the second convention? If the direction of the path and the direction of the current in the circuit and the direction of current in the closed circuit are in opposite direction then the sign convention is negative. Hope you should have understood. Then let us go for the third one. What is the third one? See, when the current is passing in an cell or in an EMF, whether the current is flowing from negative terminal to positive terminal or positive terminal to negative terminal, we have to consider. So what is the third convention? See, I am taking it like this. In this circuit, that is A, I am having a resistance. Then here I am having a battery. So current is flowing in this direction. Let us take the current is flowing in this direction. So in the cell, it is flowing from what? In the cell, it is flowing from positive to negative. If the current in the electrical circuit through a battery is flowing from positive to negative, means the sign convention is negative. So what is the rule that I can write here? If I am considering a rule, see, the EMF is taken as negative. Eppo, if the current in the cell, if the current in the cell is flowing from higher potential to lower potential, that is flowing from positive terminal to negative terminal, positive terminal to negative terminal. Then the next one, you just take an ulta of this or an opposite of this. What is the opposite? You just consider the same diagram. A, I'm having a resistance R, then a battery, and B here. If you are considering the direction of current I like this, that is I is flowing from B to A, that is from lower to higher. So if that is the case, then I can say the current or the EMF is taken as positive. So the EMF is taken as positive if the current that is flowing, if the current in the cell is flowing, current in the cell is flowing from negative terminal to positive terminal, from negative terminal to positive terminal, then it is taken to be, or it is considered to be positive. See, in the first step, if the current is flowing from A to B means, then the voltage V is equal to I into R. This voltage V is equal to I into R is positive. But at the same time, if you are taking, second one, if you are taking the path from B to A, direction of the path is opposite to that of the direction of current. Now, the sign convention for voltage V is equal to I into R is negative. So I have to put it as minus. If you are considering the current that is flowing in this cell from positive to negative, then the EMF is minus. If the current in the cell is flowing from negative to positive, then the EMF is taken to be positive. That's all. See, according to Kirchhoff's second law, which is based on the law of conservation of energy, it can be applied only to the closed path of an electrical circuit, or it can be applied only to closed circuits. The law states that in an closed circuit, the algebraic sum of the product of current and resistance is always equal to the total sum or the total EMF that is available in that circuit. For applying the Kirchhoff's second law, we have to go for a sign convention. There are 4 sign conventions summarized. The first sign convention is the product of current and resistance is positive if the direction of the current and the direction of the path are taken to be same. Then the product of current and resistance is negative if the path of the current and the path of the circuit are opposite. If the current in the circuit flows from negative terminal to positive terminal, then EMF is taken as positive. If the current in that electrical circuit flows from positive terminal to negative terminal inside a cell, then the EMF is taken to be negative. All these 4 are considered to be the sign convention of the second law. Now let us go for an example where we can apply this second law. Take to the example problem 2.21 in page number 106. See, a circuit is being given as shown in the figure. In this circuit, they have mentioned 2 loops. One of the loop is EACE. Another loop is ABCA. You are asked to apply Kirchhoff's voltage rule, KVR, to these 2 loops. You just see. See, the first one, let us consider the first loop EACE. I am starting from where? I am starting from E. So E to A, when I am moving from E to A, I am considering first of all the product of current and resistance. The product of current and resistance is I1 into R1. See, in this segment EA, the direction of the current and the direction of the path. Path is from E to A. Direction of current is also from E to A. So I1 R1 is positive. Then from there, I am moving along from A to C. E, A, C. then CE. So from A to C is the path. Current is also flowing along the same path. So the sign convention is positive. For what I have to take the sign convention? For product of current and resistance. Current is I2, resistance is R2. Similarly, when I am moving from C to E, the direction of current and direction of path is same. So again plus. When I am moving it as plus, then I will be able to get product of current and resistance as I3 R3. So on the left hand side, I have got the algebraic sum of product of current and resistance is equal to the EMF. See, when I am considering that closed path EACE, the EMF available is E. Whether this EMF is positive or negative, you see the current is flowing from negative terminal to positive terminal when I am considering the closed path as E, A, C, E. So current is flowing from the lower end to higher end. So the EMF is positive. So by applying Kirchhoff's rule for this EACE, the equation that I am getting is I into R1 plus I into R2 plus I3 into R3 is equal to E. Similarly, I am considering the second one, A, B, C, A. Come on. From A to B, when I am moving, the direction of current is along the same path. So product of current and resistance are positive. So I4 R4 is positive. Then I am moving from B to C. So again, the direction of current and the direction of the path are same. So I am writing I5 R5. Now I am considering C to A. So direction is from C to A, but current is flowing from A to C. But direction of the path and the direction of the current are opposite. So I am putting minus. For what? For resistance, the product of resistance and current. So I will be getting I2 R2 is equal to, and I am considering this closed path A, B, C, A. Is there any EMF available? Is there any EMF there? No EMF is connected in that closed path. So answer is 0. This is the answer. How to put the direction of current? See, I have started from this positive terminal. So from positive terminal, current is coming out. And the current flows through this 2 ohm resistor. When it reaches this junction, it is separating into two. A part of the current flows through this 6 volt EMF. Then this current is traveling like this through 3 ohm and reaching the junction F. At the same time, the current from E flows through 1 ohm and reaching this junction F, and both combined together passes through this 3 ohm and ends at 9 volt. For this, I am giving a name. So current that is coming out, I am writing this as I1. When this current I1 reaches this point E, a part of the current is flowing through this 1 ohm. I am taking it as I2. Then what will be this current then? The current that is flowing through this will be I1 minus I2. Am I correct? Or I can write it out as what? Or I can write it out as I3. Because the current that is coming out from 9 volt is I1. I1 is passing through 2 ohm. Then when it reaches this junction, it is separated into two. A part of the current flows through 1 ohm. That I have taken it as I2. The remaining current passing through this. So the remaining current is I1 minus I2. This current I1 minus I2 flows this. Similarly, I1 minus I2 flows through this. And again through 3 ohm, this I1 minus I2 is flowing. Now on reaching this F, this I1 minus I2 as well as this I2 reaches. So this I2 and this I2 will get cancelled. So this through this 3 ohm, only a current of I1 is passing through and it comes to an end at this E1. Are you able to understand? Governing it. Just to see, I have to calculate the current through I1 ohm. Current through I ohm. In the diagram, the current through I1 ohm is I2. So I have to calculate what is the value of I2. For calculating the value of I2, I am applying the Kirchhoff's second rule. See, I am in need of two unknown quantities. I1 is an unknown quantity and I2 is an unknown quantity. So I have to take two equations. On solving the two quadratic equations, I can able to get I1 and I2. Let us first of all consider the closed loop. So consider the closed path or a closed circuit. First of all, I am considering the closed circuit B, E, F, C, B. B, E, F, C, B. Okay. B, E, F, C, B. That is the path along which I am moving. Now I am starting from B. B to E. A current of I1 is passing through 2 ohm. 2 into I1. Then from E to F, in the same direction, current is also flowing. So 1 into I2. Then from F to C, through 3 ohm, I1 is flowing. So I am writing plus 3 I1 is equal to, again, the current flowing in this circuit. When you are taking from C to B, current is flowing from lower to higher. So this terminal or this EMF is positive. So I am taking it as 9 volt. Take this as equation number 1. Am I correct? Or I can simplify this equation and write. Am I correct? Now you simplify 2I1 plus 3I1, it is considered to be 5I1 plus I2 is equal to 9. Take this as equation number 1. Am I correct? Or able to understand what I have written? Now you consider the second closed path. Consider the closed path. I am taking it like this: E, A, D, F, E. So I am taking E, A, D, F, E. It is not necessary that you have to take like this. You can take B, E, A, D, F, C, B. The whole electrical circuit can also be determined. But we are in need of I2, isn't it? That is the reason why I have taken like this: E, A, D, F, E. Now you apply the Kirchhoff's law. Now you see E to A, there is no resistance, leave it out. From A to D, there is no resistance, leave it out. From D to F, you are having the resistance 3 ohm multiplied with the current I1 minus I2. The direction of current and direction of path are same, so it is positive. Then the next one, F to E is the path, but the direction of current is from E to F. So I am putting minus because direction of path and direction of current are opposite. Multiply with the current and resistance. It is 1 into I2 is I2 is equal to, then the path is from E to A. From E to A, current is flowing from lower potential to higher potential in the battery. So it is positive 6. Now you simplify this, you multiply 3I1 minus 3I2 minus I2 equal to 6. So on simplification, I can get 3I1 minus 4I2 is equal to 6. Let us consider this as equation number. Solving equation 1 and 2. So I am multiplying the first equation with the 4. Multiplying first equation with the 4. Or I can do the first equation with the 3. I can cancel I1 and I will be getting I2 directly. So I am multiplying the first equation with the 3. Then the second equation with the 5. So first equation with the 3 means 15I1 plus 3I2 is equal to 9 into 3, you will be getting 27. Similarly, you multiply the second equation with the 5. What you will be able to get? 15I1 minus 20I2 is equal to, what is this? 6 into 5, you will be getting 30. Am I correct? So what you will be able to get then on simplifying? So here it is, it has to be multiplied with what? Multiplied with 3. So I am simplifying this. On simplifying, what will be able to get? This 15I1, this 15I1 will get cancelled. This is minus, isn't it? So this will become plus and this will become minus. So 20 plus 3, you will be getting 23I2. is equal to -3. What is the value of I2 then? -3 divided by 23. See, simplify. When you are simplifying this, you will be getting the answer as minus of 0. So if you are getting 30 divided by 23, one time, isn't it? One time means 70. So nearly 5 times you will be able to get 5 times, or 4 times you will be able to get 70. Then 70 means 3 times I will be able to get 0.13. 70 means 23 into 3 is 66. So 3 times 0.1613 ampere. You are asked to calculate only the current through 1 ohm. Current through 1 ohm is I2. Therefore, I can write current through 1 ohm is equal to I2, which is equal to minus of 0.13 ampere as the answer. Hope you should have understood what I have told here.